Hey guys and dolls, welcome back. Today I'm starting a new series called The Shit. And what is the shit? The shit means something that is exceptional or really great. When you say that's the shit, you're saying that is the best. That's my shit. That's my shit. That's my shit. So in these The Shit videos, I will be sharing you hot new shit. New products that I'm excited about, things that I recently purchased or that recently have launched, or they're just new products or whatever. I've got that new glow because I'm super excited about these products. And then I'm going to have a section called Same Old Shit. Older products that I have either rediscovered or that I'm still loving and I feel like they could deserve a little bit of love, because a lot of times on YouTube we tend to focus on the new, now, next. But I want to remind you guys that there might be amazing products sitting in your makeup drawer or just older products that you never got around to picking up that are fabulous, that definitely deserve some love. And then I'm going to have a third section called Not the Shit, and this is for things that didn't work out for me for a variety of different reasons, or products where I'm like, oh, do not waste your money on this. So we are going to go ahead and get started with the positive. We're going to go with the hot new shit. So the first hot new shit item that I want to call out is something I actually picked up several months ago and neglected to use until I was watching a Jkissa video, and she was talking about how much she loved the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer, and I was like, you know what, I trust her, I'm going to give this a shot. So busted it out of my drawer and fell in love. Oh my god, this is one of the best concealers I've ever used, never mind that it's a drugstore brand. Like, this is amazing. It's my favorite go-to. The main thing I love about this concealer is that it has enough coverage to cover like things like acne or the blue circles under my eyes or anything, but it's not so pigmented that it looks ghastly if I just use concealer, because that's one of the things that Jkissa does. If you're not watching Jkissa, you need to get on that. She's amazing. But her whole philosophy with makeup involves not wearing foundation. She just wears concealer and powder. So I decided to kind of give that a shot, and I love that. It works out really well with this. It's been really nice for those light makeup days when I don't feel like wearing a lot of makeup. So I absolutely love this. Highly recommend it. It's really inexpensive. The shade range is relatively limited. The shade that I wear is Light Ivory. I believe that's the lightest color they sell this in. In the dead of winter, this was a little bit too deep for me still, but now that we're into the summer months, it matches me perfectly to the point where, like, I can put this on without anything else and it's not detectable. It's just kind of covering up whatever I want covered up. The other thing I really like about this one is that even though it does settle into my lines a little tiny bit, all concealer does that. All concealer. I've never found a concealer that doesn't settle into my lines just a little bit, but it's minimal. So it's definitely something that's workable, and I just love this. I'm so impressed and so happy with this. It's the shit. The next favorite of the month, I have so many Urban Decay favorites, it's kind of ridiculous. They've just recently come out with a lot of really great products. What can you do? So the first thing I want to share with you guys is the Urban Decay Illuminizer Translucent Pressed Beauty Powder. So first of all, the packaging for this is phenomenal. It is, I don't know why it's not showing up on camera. It is a, there you go, you can see the rainbow now. It is a iridescent kind of holographic cover here, and on the inside you have this powder, and at first I was like, what? Because to me this looks like it would be a highlighter, or just the name of it, like Translucent Pressed Beauty Powder. It's called the Illuminizer. I assumed that would be a highlighter. So immediately I swatched it, I'm like, that's like not even shimmery. What's that gonna highlight? Now, I understand that's probably the reaction that most people had with the Hourglass powders, and I absolutely love them. But for some reason, this just didn't click in my brain in that way at first. So I kind of shoved it towards the back of the drawer and was like, be away with you, bad powder I don't like. A couple weeks ago, I decided to kind of pull it out from the back of the drawer and give it a shot, and this actually comes with a sponge applicator, which then kind of clicked in my brain, oh, maybe it's meant to go all over the face. Let's try that. So while I typically don't really advocate for using these sponge applicators, I will use like kind of one side, do an application, use the other side, and then wash it and then reuse it. So I wouldn't recommend just, like, I wouldn't stick this in here to reuse now. That's a no-no in terms of hygiene. But that is what it's meant for. It's meant to be used all over the face, and I do think that it does look best when it's applied with the sponge, because I've tried doing it with a powder brush and I don't like it as much. So you could also get an inexpensive, like, get a little, if you also want to be cool about hygiene, you could also just use like one of these little triangle sponges or something like that. On beach days, I will just wear this concealer and this powder and I'm good to go, and I look nice and fresh and everything, but I don't look overly made up. So this is a great combination. Actually, this is like my little beach bag essentials right now. So my next hot new shit favorite is the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. This palette is the bomb. It has all the kinds of colors that I like to use. It has shimmery colors. It has a mix of mattes and dark mattes and light mattes and medium mattes and shimmery colors and light shimmery and medium shimmery and blah, blah, blah. It's an awesome palette. I can't say enough about it. If you haven't already checked out my review, I will have it linked in the description bar down below rather than just like repeat myself, which is just basically like, oh my god, I love it so much. I also did a tutorial with this called a double take tutorial where I did a more extreme look on one eye and a more calmed down or sort of traditional like femme fatale smoky eye kind of thing on this side. So that's something I want to do more. I haven't done one since because I haven't done a tutorial since that, I don't think. So I'll need to pick up with that. I will need to pick up with that series again very soon, but this is a cool palette. I found myself reaching for this palette a lot since I did that review, and a lot of times you kind of like review a product and you are like, okay, whatever, I'm done with that now. But I actually have been reaching for this since then, so it's a great palette, one that I do think a lot of people are going to enjoy for a long time to come. So my next favorite item is the Smashbox Liquid Pigment Glosses. This is sort of a gloss lipstick hybrid, and I am in love. First of all, the applicator on this is really interesting. It's sort of like a hooked triangle doe foot, which makes applying it really easy because it kind of hugs your lips as you're applying it. It smells amazing. The smell is just like kind of like peachy, but not really strong. Just by contrast, like the Too Faced lip glosses, those had way too much fragrance for me and I could not hang with them. But this has a nice, pleasant sort of tropical smell to them. It's quite lovely. So I have 3 colors here that are my specific favorite. They also have a bunch of metallic colors that are absolutely gorgeous, but a little bit less for like daily wear for me. But oh my god, these are so beautiful. They even have like purple and blue and just so many fun colors. These are really great. In fact, I actually cleared a drawer in my vanity makeup setup because you see this over here. This is actually partially not makeup storage and partially like back stock or kit makeup and things like that, but over here is where I keep like my personal stuff and the things I want quick access to. So I actually cleared out a drawer for these because they're that good. My 3 favorite colors are Rose Before Bros, which is this one. It's one of the most beautiful lip colors I've ever used. It makes my eyes sparkle. If you have blue eyes, you need this. The other one I've worn a lot is Bad Bee, which is a beautiful peachy nude shade. And the final one is called Brick Trick, which is a nice deep bricky red. Absolutely gorgeous. They are some of my favorite kind of go-to lip colors right now, and I like the texture. They're not overly sticky and they've just the right amount of pigment, and they don't tend to feather either into like lip lines and things like that. Although if you are really prone to feathering, I would recommend using a good lip liner underneath them. So now we get to the same old shit section of this video where I talk about products that have been around for a while, or things that I've used before, or things I've even brought up here possibly in a favorites video. I just want to give an extra special shout out to because they are awesome products. I have so much blush to share with you guys. Are you ready? So the first one I want to share with you guys is from Urban Decay. This is called Bang. This is by far the best orange blush I have ever had the fortune to try. It's incredibly pigmented, but it can be applied with a soft hand or a light hand with a lighter makeup brush or something, so you can get a nice, I'm not wearing it today unfortunately, I'm wearing one of my other favorites, but I have shown this to you guys on Instagram a bit. I will try to link to that specific post in the description bar down below if you'd like to check it out. I did a whole look with this. I did it in my eyes, I used it on my cheeks, and I used it on my lips. Oh no, wait. No, I think I might have actually used a Clinique lipstick, but I have used this like on top of lip balm or something on my lips, and it looks awesome. So it's a really great kind of a coral orange, definitely on the cooler side of orange, if that even kind of makes sense, because orange is definitely a warm color, but I think you know what I mean. It's not like a yellow based orange. This would be so phenomenal on women of color. Please try this. It's so pretty. So I have been in a mood lately, and by mood I mean the ambient powders from our class in the color Mood Light and Mood Exposure. These are, again, products I've had for a really long time, and they tend to kind of end up getting shoved to the back of my blush drawer because, new things come out and I sort of forget about them, and then I re-remember and I fall back in love with them, so I thought I'd give them an extra special shout out. The first one I'm going to share with you is the Mood Exposure Blush. It's a beautiful plum shade. I am wearing it today. It doesn't show up on the skin like a very cool tone plum, but it does have a sort of like warm, plummy look to it. I highly recommend this if you have been wanting to try a plum based blush but you're a little apprehensive about it, or if you just want one that's more summery. This is the perfect blush for you. The thing I like to use is the Mood Light powder. Now I want to tell you guys, these powders last a really, really long time. This is still the original one that I purchased like several years ago. So these last a long time. And I do have these periods where I kind of don't use it for a while, but even still, they last forever. And powder tends to not go bad as quickly as like creams and stuff. So it's a little bit better of an investment if you're going to buy something high end like this. So I will take a large brush. It doesn't matter what large brush specifically. This is just a random one that I just grabbed. And I will just kind of sweep all over, grab some powder, and this is looking kind of real blushy, right? On the skin, it goes on rather warm, so I use this as bronzer. This works really well for me for bronzer because traditional bronzers are always way too yellow or way too orange or way too red, so this is just the perfect, it's like the Goldilocks. If you're a pale girl, especially if you have more of a pinky undertone, I think you will love this product. One thing you don't want to do is just put it kind of mamby-pamby all over the face. You want to be kind of selective still and use it like a bronzer, like put it where you would naturally tan, so things like your forehead, the top of your nose, maybe even a little bit on your chin, things like that. And I will typically also sweep it a little bit over where I've done the blush, and it just gives it this really great airbrushed look. So I do like to use these together, but if I could only buy one, I would probably tend towards the Mood Powder, the ambient lighting powder versus the blush, because this one can be used as well as blush if you build it up. It could also be used to sort of warm up another plummy blush, so you could always use it that way. So that is, oh god, I love these though. These are definitely some of my favorite makeup items. The next same old shit item is the Ben Nye Luxury Powder in Cameo. I know the entire internet lost its mind over banana powder, but if you're super pale like me, it just doesn't work for you. It's way, way, way too dark and looks really creepy on you. So I can't use that. And for years, I still use the Ben Nye Translucent Powder. It's an excellent powder, particularly for using for like photo shoots or any situation where somebody's going to be sweaty. I actually really love to use it on brides because brides tend to sweat quite a lot. They've got a big old hairdo. You know, usually if it's like an outdoor wedding and stuff, you just can't help it. So it's a really, really great powder. That powder is great and I still totally recommend it, but it has no color and it can look a little bit ashen on deeper tones. So that's where you might want to get some of the more tinted powders. This Cameo powder has an ever so slightly pink tint. I'm going to turn it around so you guys can see. It looks lovely on the skin. It just kind of blends in with my skin better. It looks fantastic and it's super duper finely milled. I think it might even be more fine than the original translucent powder, and it's extremely inexpensive. I want to say I bought this, I'm not entirely sure because I get a pro discount, so my price is a little bit different, but I will have this linked in the description bar down below where you guys can pick this up. It's not expensive. It might be a little bit more than some of your drugstore powders, but it's also going to perform a bit better than a lot of drugstore powders just because it's more finely milled and it's meant for stage performance. One thing to keep in mind, this powder does have cornstarch in it. So if you are acne prone, this might be one you want to use sparingly. In fact, any powder with cornstarch in it, you'll want to use sparingly because cornstarch, for whatever reason, tends to really feed acne. I don't know why this is, I just know that it is. So something to keep in mind. Otherwise, this is a really great powder. I do tend to have fairly acne prone skin, but this doesn't break me out. So my next same old shit favorite is the Real Techniques mini sponge. I wanted to get into this mini sponge life. I'd seen the Beauty Blender style and I was like, I don't know if I really want to spend that much on a little tiny sponge and then end up not really liking it. I decided to go for the Real Techniques dupe and I adore this. As with the other Real Techniques, the Miracle Sponge, it has, you know, the nice flat shape here, so if you want to apply the concealer in this way you can. I do tend to use a little pointed bit here and I find it really easy to kind of hold it in different ways. This is awesome. It also comes in a 2-pack, so you get 2 at the same time. It's extremely soft, it has great material, it's awesome. Now with that in mind, we now get to the not the shit portion. Products that didn't work out is a foundation that actually I like, but the color selection doesn't work for me. So this is the Smashbox Studio Skin 15-Hour Wear Foundation. Now, this is a great foundation. It looks really skin-like. It looks beautiful, but the shade range blows for light skin people, and this is something that is symptomatic with a lot of Smashbox foundation. And Smashbox, I love you. You make amazing products. I'm not hating on you, but you've really got to do something about the fact that this is the 0.5 foundation and it's not light enough for me, and I'm not even anywhere near the palest person. So you gotta come through and hook us up with some lighter foundation. I do want to say there might be some, you know, silver lining on the horizon. They did recently send me the Smashbox Studio Skin Shaping Foundation, the stick. And this is interesting because it comes with the foundation stick on one end and a sculpting ring on the other. So I did use that to apply my foundation today, and I think it looked really good. It's really dry in here and in here, but my skin is really dry right now. Like, my skin on my arms, like, all over, because I have gone to the beach several times. I've gone swimming for hours and hours and hours, which tends to dry out your skin. So I'm not going to take it out on the, you know, on the foundation because it looks dry. It's just, that's one of the reasons why I'm not doing like a foundation demo with that this week, because it would give kind of like a false negative impression. I want to wait till my skin's back to normal for that. So there is maybe a silver lining on the horizon with this, and I can, you know, modify this by using a white foundation to lighten it. I'm just really sick and tired of having to do that. It's 2017. I don't know why companies, especially an artistry-driven line like Smashbox, isn't doing foundations in lighter shades. I'm just saying. Same is true actually for the new MAC Next to Nothing foundation. The lightest color from that is also too dark for me. They kind of sort of work. Kind of sort of. I can, you know, I can fudge it. I can make it happen. But, you know, I'm not the palest person. There are people that are much paler than me that this is just not going to work for them at all. And it's just So that is my first The Shit video. Please let me know what you think of this concept in the comment section down below. I got kind of bored just doing monthly favorites when I don't always have monthly favorites, or sometimes, you know, they're older products and it's like, do I include that with the favorites? What do I do? And this concept just kind of came to me like hot new shit, same old shit, not the shit. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I will see you in my next video. Remember to be vintage or tacky, just be your own kind of beautiful. See you, bye.